Hey everybody, this is Grimoire LARP. I'm your host Dan. Here with me is my head of Grimoire plot, Nick, also rules marshal, and one of our players, Matt. We'll have some fun with him. Today we're here to do a weapon review for our LARP Grimoire. We want to start off here with us, the Popper. Everybody knows the Popper.
Decked out as you should be.
Repping Grimoire as it would be. We also have a couple of weapons here. We're going to go over that here in a minute. So to start off, we're going to be reviewing a company called Mitryl. I've got a couple weapons from them today. This is going to be kind of showing what's...
Kind of like an unboxing sort of thing. We're going to be... the intention with these videos is that we review products, we get shipments of their weapons, and we test them out. We bring them out here. We test the feel, the firmness, the quality of the weapons. That way we can send them to the people who are members of our live action roleplay, so they can know and shop with confidence that this item will pass inspection when you get to game. And I say, hey, you can't do that. The two examples we have here. This one right here is my personal sword. It was made by Colorado Foam Forge. We're not endorsed by that place. But it is a custom-made weapon to the design specifications that I gave the craftsman. So this is like the high end of aesthetics, form and function. It's lightweight. It's just an all-around a really, really good weapon. So that's one of our examples. And the other example is one of the more popular examples. You'll see these all over the place. You'll see them at the medieval collectibles and other LARP distributor stores. And we're going to be using these as the standards to compare and contrast the weapons against. That way, because we know that we can get these, where we can reliably get them. But other weapons like the handmade sword by Colorado Foam Forge, those are a little bit more specialized, and we want to make sure that we they have a good comparison.
All right, so we're going to start off with... I got a stick. We're going to start off today with our first one here. We got the Enforcer. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I like this. This is going to be great. We'll let our rules marshal handle the weapon marshal handle it.
So that's what we got here. Got a little fist right there. It's got a squishy tip, a stabby tip. It's not terribly bow. It doesn't bow very bad. It has pretty fair impact. It's not. I wouldn't say it hurts. Other side the same way. I wouldn't say it. Might have a little bit of little teeny bits. I'd probably be careful with that side, but the actual hammer side is good.
Only uses pointy side of vampires.
The handle is on, for my personal preference, the handle is on the firm side. I am a bit worried about the back here. There are locations in the back here that seem a bit unsafe for use. I would say if this is going to be used at our LARP, use only the head, not the spike end, because like right here, give that a feel. So it's a little on the firm side. I'd be careful about that. I wouldn't want somebody to get smacked by that. It's not like plastic hard, but it is firm. A good example is like the Clamacil weapons seem to be made like this same kind of foam, like this density. So that's something to be mindful about.
If you could reliably hit up here.
Yeah, if you could reliably hit up there, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. Other than that, the weight, it is on the heavy side for a weapon of this length. I would argue that it is pretty top heavy. I mean, it's a hammer; it's going to be. But I would dock it a couple points based on its weight because for its size, it is pretty heavy. So
for those of you at home, we're grading on a 1 to 10 scale. 10 being perfect, 1 being garbage. To put it lightly, thing unsafe. That one unsafe.
All right, so we were going to tell you guys about why we brought a new player here, or our player. Let's go ahead and give us a little stand over here, buddy. And I'm going to give you a good old donk. How's this feel?
Bit firm.
Like
you might get a few bruises, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know about that one, but it does feel.
So you gotta remember, our system is a light touch system, so we only smack him full force because that's what we pay him for.
Yeah. If you're doing a light touch system, if we're doing a light touch system, I don't think that I have any issues with this. So on 1 to 10 scale, what do you think the impact on this thing is?
It's not bad. I mean, you feel it. You'll know when you get hit. But I mean, as far as like, ow, that really hurts. It's not really there. But
so
I'd say
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
1 being it hurts like you got kicked by a donkey.
1 being I got kicked by a donkey.
Yeah. 8 or 10 being you got hit by a feather pillow. And not stabbed by the feathers.
Probably a 6 or a 7.
6 or a 7. Okay. We'll write that down.
All right, let's head over here.
All right. Impacts 6 to 7.
All right, so we've got the weight. I would grade the weight probably closer to a 3 or a 4. Like I said, for its size, it is a little heavy, but it's not super heavy. So probably closer to 4 than 3.
Firmness of the actual striking surface.
I would say it's closer to like a 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yeah. So
good numbers. Good numbers. Aesthetics. I don't want to do this one. Aesthetics. This is a beautiful weapon. It has a little bit of imperfections. You know, it's
casting lines. And
casting lines. It has a little bit of pitting, but it's, you know, it looks like someone handmade this. You know, like forged kind of deal, and that I like the aesthetic of it. It's 8 or 9 aesthetics. Maybe 7 or 8. 7 or 8. Say 7 or 8 aesthetically. Function.
I actually would like to err on the side of an 8 because each one of the little hands has nails carved into it. It's a tiny detail. You also can see the detailing of the wrist muscles and the palm, which I really like. They also have a little muscle nub.
Beautifully made.
But yeah.
Beautifully made. Function of it.
Function. I mean, it's for the function grade. I like to take things off when it gets in the way. For example, with my sword here, I would actually dock it points on function because of the crossguard. The crossguard makes it a little bit unwieldy to use. There's no things that I have issues with. However, because it is a mace type weapon, most rule systems will ask that you are striking with the striking surface, and for this, your striking surface is only going to be about that big around. So because it is so small with that striking surface, I would dock it a little bit of points for function with that. So I would say it's an 8 for function.
The hand's actually pretty squishy too.
Sure, but like this.
Get firm till
once
underneath it.
Yeah, once you do the handles.
Pretty nice.
Yeah, I would say 8 for
8. All right.
For function.
So for price, this is actually the mid-range one out of the 3. It's about 109 Canadian, which is 90 something American.
Or whatever that translates to. We'll probably put a card up to say what it actually is.
Yeah. So it's not incredibly expensive compared to some things you can get, and for what you get, I'd say it's pretty.
Yeah, I think it's
decent
worth it.
price.
Yep.
So I'd say 8 to 9.
Yeah.
8 to 9.
I would say 8.
8. Yeah, 8's a good one. Turnaround time. We gave it a 7 before this. All 3 of the items are handmade, and we got them about 45, 47 days. But for them being handmade, hand painted, all that, getting 3 items in 47 days is fairly quick. Once they were able to ship, it only took 3 days. That was 3 days to get from Canada to New York, go through customs, and make it here to Kansas. So we gave that one a 7. All right, we're going to move on now this is titled Bones. Love it. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
This looks phenomenal. Let's give it a look. I like it.
Go ahead and
So yeah, they got some tags on them saying where
go
they're
ahead and
from.
move that here. I actually really like that the crossguard. A lot of times with weapons like this, the crossguard will be made of a different foam and it'll end up being a lot harder. With this one, it is soft. I do worry about the durability of the crossguard because of that, but I do like that it is softer. As for the weapon itself, it is really, really nice. Like it impacts, or it's real squish, which is nice. There is about an expected amount of bow with it.
For how long it is.
Yeah, for how long it is. Because of the way that it distorts to left and right, I am a slightly bit worried about the impact because I feel like if it is as soft with the weight that it is, I do worry that it might have some impact issues. But it's a really nice weapon. Handle's a bit of an awkward length. I would have probably made the handle 2 or 3 inches longer with the mold, but that's really just like a molding issue. But as you can tell, I really like long handles.
It's a preference. It's a preference.
Yeah. As for the looks of it, I mean, I'm with the boss man here. I think that the actual thing is beautiful. This is probably one of the better weapons I've seen. This in aesthetic, especially if it's like a mold.
I got a bone looks like actual bone.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, let's take some of those impact issues, Matt.
Yep.
We treat Matt well.
We do. We treat him very well. How's this one feel? I do notice on our right hand hit here, it is doing the when you hit it. So I do worry about that, but that can be circumvented just by fighting with it safely. How's it feel?
It's about like a epic armory sword.
About the same?
Yeah, about the same.
Okay.
So
I think Epic Armory is a good. If we can straight compare it to an Epic Armory, I think that's a solid. Yeah, that's a solid 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I think 7 would be a good Epic Armory because it's what's reliable. Okay. Well.
So you say 7? 7?
Yeah, about
Okay.
7 maybe.
I'm giving that one a 7, everybody. 7 for impact. How's the weight?
It is very front heavy. Like it is. I actually where I was saying the bongle issue where it's doing the shake thing. I think that's probably because the tip is so much heavier. So I got to dock points for that because it will be unwieldy. With a lot of systems that you have weapons that are shaped like this, especially like this, it's a little bit more back heavy. You can kind of like do like fake out things, but with this one, you can't really like undo a swing. You got to commit to it.
It's more of a flow.
Yeah. So I would say we've got to take points back for that.
That's what would you add a 10?
For weight, 4.
4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. About the same as the other one. Firmness.
Firmness, I think that firmness is going to be just as before, just with it, like the with
5 to 6. From that one.
Yeah, 7. I think it's just about 7. 'Cause
7?
It's the same. Yep.
I like it. All right. Aesthetics. I gotta be the aesthetic guy, man. I gotta be the aesthetic guy because this. I love the look of their weapons. They are phenomenal. A little bit of pitting at the top, down here. It's not. From distance, it's definitely not noticeable. But unless you're really taking a good look at it, it's still just a beautiful sword. The handle is phenomenal. Now, see, you got a problem with the handle because you got small hands. I got big hands, and that fits perfect. This fits perfect.
But wouldn't that make?
I can see the weight.
Wouldn't that make sense that I would want a shorter handle because I got small hands?
I don't know, man.
I just really like long handles,
It
man.
fits perfect in my hand, Matt. You took a grab at that. What do you think?
Yeah,
It's definitely front heavy.
Yeah,
I can feel that.
When you swing, it kind of feels like a spring in a way.
swings back.
I think one of the things because I believe because you can change the length on the blades. I want to make that very clear. You can change the length. You can change the type of blade. I went with this one because it looks phenomenal.
Sure.
And there were a lot of different options, and I had to pick one. But this, it was beautiful. Oh, man.
It might be interesting for us to do a follow-up review on a different blade style on the same sword.
Same sword, or, you can do blade styles on different handles.
Sure.
Because the handles, it just changed the aesthetic of it.
Sure.
Yeah, I gotta give this one also a 9. 9 on the aesthetics. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9. It's beautiful. Function.
Because it's front heavy, it comes back to the weight issue. You're gonna have a lot of access to like your foam bats and your omni blades or whatever. They're really light weapons, and a lot of systems that allow those kind of weapons, you're gonna lose to those people who have those ultralight weapons. The weight being with it being front heavy and it having a flowing style, that's really cool in like fantasy genres and stuff like that. But when you're actually talking about like a foam sport or live action role play, that really does cut into the function of it. I would say it is a longer weapon, which that's nice. So it gets kudos for that. But I do think that front head, the fact that it is so front heavy, that's going to dock some points. I would put it at a 5. I feel like people are going to look really cool with the weapon, but then when it comes to fighting them, they'll be less effective.
It's definitely up to the how you want to play your character. If you want the ultra function, you're the real try hard fighter. If you're looking to mid max, probably not for you. If you're looking to look good and still have some functionality with it, but you want your character to be specifically, I'd say almost like a barbarian with that one. If you're looking for that kind of thing, this is perfect.
Great, yeah.
We'll hit that 5. Price, this is actually the cheapest. This one was about 99 Canadian dollars. That's dirt cheap for a sword.
Especially with this length, yeah. I'd say that's
something as beautiful as that. Oh my goodness.
I'd say that's a 10. I'd give that a 10.
You give that one a perfect 10. And again, turnaround is the same thing with all of them. How quick we got it for all 3 handmade. It's a 7. It's good. It could be better, but it's good. We'd have to check it individually to see really a better turnaround score for it. But for ordering 3, it's great timing. This is kind of a binge for me because I am addicted to these kind of things. We have the Imperial Flail. Now, when it comes to our LARP, we're going to have an issue with this right off the bat. The links are leather, and they're not a thin leather. So for us to be able to use it, we'll have to turn it into foam links, which is...
Or something that's safe.
Something safe, or put foam around them or something. But we're still going to hit them with it, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, this is beautiful. Beautiful weapon.
So it looks like the connection point down here might have something rigid in it, which is that's good and bad. It's good because it means I'm not as worried about it breaking, but it's kind of bad because if you hit somebody with that, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, but that'd be pretty close to hit somebody with it.
Sure.
And honestly, you'll probably.
I don't want to say that these links won't work. I don't want to say that. However, if they were hand stitched, I'd say this is fine, but they're riveted. The problem that I have with it is specifically that metal tang from the rivets. That's what I'm worried about. Popper wants to throw that, huh?
Popper wants to throw hands.
As for the actual blade itself, these are feels nice. It's nice and cushioned. The tip here at the very dead center of it is kind of firm. I think they'd probably be okay though when you've got it in game. Yeah, you ready to go on? Oh, and one of the things about flails that is important to note is the heavier the flail, that becomes exponential because you are swinging on an arc. So I am worried about the weight of this.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and give it a.
Is the head of the flail heavy or is the handle heavy?
Both, and they're both factors. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to turn around because I don't want to take it in the front. How's this one feel? And then we can get those wrap hits. Get those wrap hits around him. If you had a shield, I'd be able to get around those. Bap, bap.
Don't worry, we'll be doing other videos on fighting.
How's that feel?
Some of the new guys.
Feels alright. Bit firm in some places, but like if you get hit in the softer areas, like right there, it feels all right.
That doesn't. Hold on. That doesn't hurt.
No, not really.
Really?
No. I mean, it kind of that part kind of
Yeah,
stings a little bit, but
Hit me with it. No, I'm just kidding. All right. That's good. I think that's actually really good because I was swinging it a little more violently than you probably would.
The metal lengths, like I said, I've worried about those, but they are on the side. I don't know that that'd actually be an issue. I would actually probably let this fly a couple games at LARP.
See how it goes.
See how it goes. If people get
hit me with the chain.
because it's really hard to like target the chain.
I mean,
Yeah, it's not.
It is what it is.
I think what really helps them is that they're rounded and not super pointed at it.
Mm.
So it doesn't. I mean,
I mean, getting hit with that.
I will say from a construction standpoint, these rivets are not set properly. I will actually show this real quick. You can see here probably. I don't know how close it's going to be, but the head of the post of the rivets are actually being bent and broken in through the caps right here. And with a normal set rivet, they don't do that. They actually mushroom it down and they hold it steady. So that I'm gonna have to give a pretty big mark against that for its construction. We don't have construction on here, but we'll have to take that into mind.
okay.
Yeah. Are we? So moving down the line.
Yeah. So let's go with the weight. What do you think?
So flails, you have to be very careful about weight because when it comes to flails, they become exponential when you're swinging them. This one doesn't feel bad. I think that a lot of the low force is being lost in the chain, but it is a bit on the heavy side for what I'm comfortable with. I would say 5, a solid 5, because even without the head, the handle is pretty like.
Oh,
just the handle itself is pretty
definitely
dense.
weighty.
The head's not too bad, but it's you are getting the weight of the handle when you swing it. So
It would like all of it, sure. Now, for someone who's bigger, they'd probably be able to use this.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
it's not. Well, I mean, I got a lot of muscle. on
Matt
it,
works out. He's jacked.
But
on his long sleeve.
It don't really feel that bad to me. I mean, that sword
That's
is a
the problem
lot.
with flails, though, is that it's not you that's the problem. It's the weight of the weapon you swing it. You're swinging that into somebody else.
So
Yeah.
What do you think about the length of it? Is this an acceptable length?
So I would actually have to measure it. I don't have a measuring tape handy, but if I did, I'd have to make sure, like for our system,
If you're eyeballing it,
if I was eyeballing it,
because it's based on the chain, isn't it?
it's based. So in our system, I don't know what the other systems do. The length of the weapon itself cannot be, or the length of the flexible part, this part here, cannot be longer than the length of the handle. Which in this circumstance it's not, so it's fine. But I don't know if the overall length is in spec.
Okay.
So we would have to check that.
So what would you give the firmness?
Firmness for the parts that are meant to hit people, I would give them. I'd give them a 7 or an 8. They're good. However, I do want to do it closer to a 6 or a 5 because I'm not comfortable with how firm the handle is. This part right here, which you'll get a lot of accidental hits with flail, it's pretty dense.
Pretty dense. Yeah, I can agree with that. Okay, so I would say that one has 2 different scores. One for the actual accidental hit area and one for the... Oh, man, I like that. Yeah. Matt, you didn't give us an impact score. What do you think?
I give it a solid 7 or 8.
7 or 8? Okay. I like it. This is actually
That's pretty good.
This is actually the softest one yet.
I think it's because there's no spine behind it when you get hit.
That could be possible.
The flexible part's working against it.
Function.
So I'm going to take points off for the rivets here because function is a thing of it. For all those people who hate flails, because flails are bad in most LARP systems, yes, I agree. We have to do this function based on comparing it to other flails rather than other weapons. It's only fair that way.
Yeah, we had one flail and we don't have it here.
Yeah. Well, we've got 3.
Well, we have the one good one in it. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Fumblings break, and that kind of sucks.
So as for function, I would say with a flail, you kind of get what you're paying for. You get around shields, you get around stuff. I'm in docket points for that, so I'd give it a 5.
5?
Because it would be baseline, good, normal. Wouldn't say it's too extraordinary.
If you're mid-maxing, you're not using a flail.
Yeah.
But if you want to look good,
You want to look good.
if you somehow master a flail,
You're probably going to be fighting as good as a short sword fire.
Yeah. So we'll give that one a 5. So aesthetics, this one probably by far has the least amount of pitting.
However, the painting is questionable on the tip.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It's a little compared to the rest of it. It's definitely off.
They did a plastic. If it's not picked up on the camera because we're using a pixel from across the room, it's got a dry brush sort of painting style on it. However, they didn't dry brush all of the filigree and stuff like that inside of the actual flail.
Well, the brush is not different colors.
Yeah,
However,
it's not uniform.
However, again, let's say there's a lot more pitting down here. But I mean, aesthetically speaking, this is a beautiful flail. It looks the part. It definitely, for someone like me, I'd rock this.
It's probably
I might rock this.
Probably my favorite so far.
It's like you can't. This handle, beautiful. The sword looks like a sword. This is gorgeous. This is like another level of beauty. This is just phenomenal. I can't get over how great this looks. I'm gonna give this one a 10 as well. As the other one. Yeah, I gave it a 9, so I'm actually gonna give it a 9 because I think they're all beautiful. Price wise, this one was the most expensive. I believe it was 130 Canadian. It was the most expensive. I might be wrong. That might be 113. I can't remember quite.
We'll have a card that says what the actual price is.
We'll put it in there. But for the price of it, I'd still say it's a steal. I mean, all 3 of them I'd say are steals price wise.
I do think that with the issues posed by what was taken off for function, however, I will need to knock them on price for it too, because I can
agree with that.
They should have done a little bit more mindful quality of the rivets. But other than that, yeah,
I'd put it at 7. Make it just one below this.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good.
Still a good price. Turnaround, same thing. 3 weapons, 47 days, 45 days. I can't remember what it was. Yeah, these are beautiful weapons by Mitryl. We'll put the link to their Etsy on the description below. I'd say definitely buy from them again to check out some of their other weapons. They have daggers and all kinds of different stuff.
We're going to do a close up of each of the weapons real quick.
Yeah, let's do a close up of them. Matt, get up there. Or you want to bring?
I'm gonna bring it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's a beautiful sword. Absolutely gorgeous. Hammer down there.
Can we flip that one so we can see the detailing on the nails?
Beautiful hands. Oh,
yeah,
it's great. I feel like the foam is definitely different than some of the other weapons we've gotten though. Very interested. I believe they use their own different kind of foam. It's in the description. I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, everybody, again, this is Grimoire LARP weapon review. I'm I'm Daniel. I'm your host.
Before we close up, I do have a question.
Yep.
So for the weapons that we have here, you're the owner of this LARP. Would you be comfortable with these weapons being at your LARP?
I'd be comfortable with it.
All three of them?
All three of them, as long as Weapon Marshal Nick is good with them. At least until a problem arises, I'd be okay with them. You never know what happens until it happens. In that mind, we're gonna be signing off. Thank you for joining us.